criminal will be like, how much am I getting today? Because they get a lot of money. But I could probably pay the criminal half that money and say, hey, listen, man, don't do any crimes. Go to school and do good. And I promise you, I'll give you all this money every day. Every day. I pay them daily like they get paid daily or monthly, weekly, whatever. I guarantee that dude will be like, he'll have a master's degree in no time. So, we need to find ways to get these people to stop lying and cheating and stealing as a form of the best way to live life, because these rules are put there not to restrain you, but to keep other persons from killing you or hurting you, and from you from hurting others. Of course, there's a lot of bureaucracy that needs to be cut and fixed. Hopefully we're doing that now, because if you keep things the way they are, it continues. You're deliberately feeding a machine that's destroying everyone, including these people that are out there in the higher echelons of it, who are living like, this pretentious, ostentatious life, and could care less about everybody else, but eventually that's going to catch up to them. It could be anybody that'll come up to them that'll just revoke their card. It could be their own children. That's why you see there's a lot of people that are really way up there. Sometimes they'll destroy their own children because they don't want them to take their place. So it's just this fear, because they're riding on that very emotion, as opposed to a righteous father who loves his children and would love for them to have the power, in other words, to hand over the position, or at least to someone else, not only their own children, but you can find someone else that is very well gifted, because you want to put the right person in the right position, because it stops problems altogether, because he's a wise judge. Like Solomon was always praised, and other people were often praised because of their ability to find out exactly where the problem lies, and in order to come up to a solution where everybody can win. Unless there are those who don't want you to win, because for many reasons, it could be greed, it could be power, it could be lust, but it's all in a negative structure. So anyway, they lie, cheat, and steal, kill from the public and the society and the good citizens. So you really do want to find out exactly who are the troublemakers, and not give justice because somebody has money, because they're able to fight the case in court. And sometimes that's what they're trying to do, because you're locking up so many people that the poor people are easier to process, so you can put people in jail to make money off them, and the rich people, they sort of just let fly by because of bribery and the sustainability. So you bringing everybody to court, it's easier to let go of the rich when that's a problem, especially if they're committing a lot of crimes, because you're okaying this energy, which then multiplies into society and the structure, and to people who have been hurt to hurt more. So it's this continuing process of this downward spiral. So, they lock up and hurt people, and then in prison, they still continue the same system. Now, you can break out of this. In other words, not break out of jail, but if all the inmates, they started to educate the inmates, they'll see, well, who's the troublemaker? How are they being a troublemaker? Separate the people that are aggressive from the people that aren't aggressive, so you can create a system of rehabilitation in the prison system, as opposed to indoctrination of these people in order to become worse criminals. And by that time, they don't want to go back to jail, so now they're up to murder, because they're out there saying, kill or be killed, because they know it's bad in there and it's bad out there, so what's left? they have no refuge, no place to go. So they figure they tried death, and death, they're cheating themselves because they never knew what life was about. So these people have no regards for life, acting like they're good people, acting like their words are pretty and that their actions are good, and they're nonviolent, and that they're respectful when the opposite is true. And this was the real party of slavery, and where the truth really lies. Especially when you hear things like, the first slaves were here in America, first slave owners were ebony individuals, and a lot of people were ebony people that they classified them as white because they had too much money, or they were they're sellouts, so they classified them white. So they're using this system, which is pretty self-evident. A lot of people are waking up to this, so eventually the system will correct itself, and the money will be deposited where it needs to go, and not put where it's not needed to go. And when you start correcting all the different avenues, then you can go from a beat up old car to a brand new flying machine. It'll be different, an entirely different place. So your children will never had known what's it been like to have been called a nipper, or if they're called a nipper, they start laughing like this guy's serious. But some people, because they want you to act that way, so they'll deliberately create an act. They'll say, hey, listen, I'm going to call you nipper. Just go real angry and berserk. So you're standing next to him, and so you're an ebony brother, and you're standing next to another ebony brother. Then a light-skinned person come up to you and say, hey, nipper, what's going on? And so your brother, what you think is your brother, is going to overreact because he wants you to overreact. He wants you to play the fool. So now you become the nipper. Instead of saying, it's an ignorant word used by ignorant people in order to subjugate or harangue or belittle others. And so you have two ebony persons. The first one, they come and they call you a nipper, and you go crazy. They go, oh, this guy's great. He's doing good. So they go up to you and they'll call you a nipper, and you start laughing at them. Because now the energy is all his, and you can see some people just burning in their skin. When you can see somebody just getting from regular to real burnt red, like they're cooking in their own skin. Literally, they're frying their brain right in front of your face. You're looking at him, you're like, oh my God. And you're trying to help him breathe, man. Breathe, man, breathe. Because he's looking at you and he's turning red and angry. And you're like, oh my God, this guy's going to have a heart attack right now. And you try to help him out. Breathe. Eventually he starts breathing. And he walk away more confused because some people still never get it. But some people know it right away. It takes them a while. Some people just go right to their domicile, their home or whatever, and just stick their head in the pillow until they figure out in a couple of days what the hell happened to them. Then when they see you next time they walk around you, they won't be calling you no nipper anymore, though. Not unless he wants to go through the whole ordeal again. It was like, nah, stay away from that guy. They'll put all kinds of rumors on you, whatever it takes. They'll make it up alphabetically. Oh, this guy did that. Yeah, he did that. He did this. Oh, yeah, he did that too. And none of it's true. Oh, he did that. Yeah, he did that. He's an evil guy. Yeah. Oh, he's bad. Walk around that guy. And some people believe it. Next thing you know, you're walking down the street, everybody's crossing the street. Everyone's like, yo, that guy's coming across the street. You ain't did nothing to nobody. It's like putting a bad rumor on a puppy, you know. You see the puppy, he's all cute and innocent. He's walking down the street. People just cross the street, cross the street, man. That puppy's a that's a killer puppy, man. But anyway, you'll see they start doing that to people, you know. and they usually do that part secretive, they'll just ostracize you secretly, and whatever they cast charges on you, they'll do it secretly. Everything's secret. Don't say nothing, just keep throwing whatever you got at them and hope it sticks. Most people don't make it out. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody who makes it alive. But God in His infinite wisdom is sort of saying, like, it's kind of time to make that change, and time to enlighten your mind, free your mind, free your body, free your soul. And you'll find out that you can do a lot more things, and you are a lot stronger than you had originally anticipated or believed to have been, and you're a lot more beautiful because you're seeing things through the eyes of negativity. So because you're perceiving negative and you're projecting negative, a lot of what you see is going to be overly negative until you find that there is a positive. And then you become enlightened and find out that you were spoon-fed all this crap. I know people that once enlightened, the first enlightenment thing to do is they're so in shock that if anybody comes up to them with all this negativity, they're still confused at that point. They're liable to beat somebody down and say, man, you gave me a lot of pain all these years and I stayed quiet. That's some people's first, defense once awakened is like if a negative person come up to them and start playing these games, they're so outraged. That's why when you first learn of it, you just keep learning and be calm until the full system is in you, so then you'll know exactly what to do and how to say things, as opposed to your first response, which a lot of time it's wicked because you're so fed up, and then all those thoughts now, what's true is going to come rolling in your mind it's like you open the gates, and all those thoughts everything starts to click. Because you're sort of like freeing your mind, you're Rubik's cubing your mind. You're like, oh my God, you begin to see there. These are the people that were united and using the same negative understanding, and they hurt me. But you forgive them, you know what I'm saying? That's why you got to be cool. Learn the full 12 before you start going off of people, because once you know the full 12, you'll be able to do it in such a way that you honor yourself, and you even honor them. Even after all the negative they've done to you, they'll come to you with a little more respect. So then you begin to see the good in people, and you see the gold in them, the truth of the self, of between your inner self and understanding who you are and how you perceive and project and understand. And what dialogue are you following? Are you in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, or are you in unwisdom, unknowledge, and ununderstanding? So you don't judge people by their outer appearance, and it's not where value lies, but in the spirit or the source of the individual. So some people you can hate and feel, well, not hate, but you can separate from and feel better. And some people that if you love them, you feel bad. And if you hate them, you feel better. But there are those people that when you love them, you feel good. But if you hate them, you feel worse. So if you see a real positive person and you love them, you can grow because they're connected. Let's put it that way. And then you love them, you connect yourself to them. And if you find yourself hating them, there's a problem within you, and you need to realign that. But once you challenge that, then that challenge puts you on a different pedestal. But if you kowtow to it, it brings you down to another pedestal, lower pedestal. So your interaction with others could empower you or disempower you, and protect you or not protect you. And once you understand this knowledge, you'll be able to grow in this understanding. So you'll grow in this inner you, where there are no more limitations, there are no more restrictions against you, there are no more chains around you, and you can awaken to the possibilities, which are many, with no boundaries, following the instruction, and you will be shown the way. So you can be a gold people or not. And again, many of the ebony people, you identify, or some people can identify, an ebony person can, some people can identify as a slave. Although not everybody was a slave, or if at one point somebody in your ancestor was a slave, but then at another point somebody in your ancestor was white, does that balance it out? Or also some of you consider yourselves ebony people and say, oh, I was a slave, when you're in fact an indigenous Indian American. And then when you begin to check your history, you'll find out exactly where. And some of people were just never slaves back then, because they came over after the Emancipation Proclamation. So there's one way to check it, but again, everybody enslaved everybody. I'm talking about everybody. You see it on the Bible. You see it in every Bible. Many Bibles. The art of war everywhere. You name it. Even Indians enslaved Indians from other tribes. And so Africans enslaved Africans, and Europeans enslaved Europeans. What was it, the 100-Year War or whatever? Everybody was enslaving everybody. Man, if you start keeping track of the wars, I think I got a paper somewhere where I started keeping track of every war in Europe. It seems like every other week somebody was killing another tribe. German was going to France. France was going to Italy. Italy was going to Germany. Everybody was going everywhere to kill and take slaves. But even with that, you still see all the different tribes where some people have more blonde hair, some people have more red hair, like the Irish, or more blondish hair, or like the Dutch or the Germans, or more Italian and Greek looking. The Italians are more brown hair people. And they tan well. A lot of them tan good. I knew a guy from, what was it from? I may have said it, I'm not sure, but from Portugal. And he used to tan like a bronze statue. But so, the skin, there's a person that some people call what they call a white man, but his skin could go all the way to the ebony man. And there's some people that they say, well, he's a black man, and his skin could go all the way to the white man's. So, it goes on, and this was going on for thousands of years, and they got to keep up where the children look, what the children look like, and where they're from. Sometimes just to distribute the children evenly to keep this black and white thing going. So if you're too white, they'll be like, well, both people try to ostracize you. Oh, they're not really white. Oh, well, they're not really black. When the fact is they are black. Or they are white, depending on how you look at it. But the fact is that these people are people, the human race. Again, the breaking up of the original Asiatic ebony man. the one tribe. So, and you can see that. So everybody enslaved everyone else, and you name it, anybody, anywhere, foreign, domestic, but you don't identify with that. You don't say this is you, because that was always a state of mind. It was always